Gender identity is a person's sense or psychological knowledge of their own gender. It can be the same as what they were born as, or they could have a gender that's not what they were assigned at birth. While most identify with the gender that they were assigned at birth, a lot of people still don't. Everyone has a gender identity. Gender identity is an innate, largely inflexible characteristic of each individual's personality, and it's generally established by age 4, although the age where people come to understand and express that gender identity can vary depending on everyone's social and familial social developments. Gender expression is the manner in which someone decides to express their gender to others. It's usually done through behaviors, clothing, hairstyles, voice, and even their mannerisms. The word transgender is an adjective that's describing a person whose gender expression is different from what they were assigned at birth, and the transition is the process and the period of time in which a person goes from living as one gender to another gender. Gender nonconforming is a gender expression which differs from the common expectation that includes feminine boys and masculine girls, and those individuals that are perceived as androgynous. However, it commonly refers to individuals whose gender falls outside of the traditional categories or outside of both genders. Transgender and gender nonconforming individuals use a number of words to describe their gender experience, but it is important to note that transgender is an adjective, not a noun. It is appropriate to say a transgendered person or a transgender individual rather than saying just a transgender. Transgender is an umbrella term used to describe a full range of individuals who don't necessarily conform to society's narrow standards of gender and sex. Sex refers to the gender that is assigned at birth. A doctor will decide whether a person is born a male, female, or even intersex based on the external characteristics such as their genitalia or their internal characteristics such as the chromosomes that are seen in the body. Gender itself refers to the social constructs that people identify with. It's more about how you feel, how you identify, and how you express yourself rather than what sex you were assigned at birth. Gender identities can and they do change over time based on the context of culture, geography, and where an individual person is on their own life's journey. And if you are not sure what pronouns to use for somebody at first, and if you're just listen. If you're talking with other people, listen to how they refer to a certain person. And they will probably use the right pronoun eventually. If you need to ask, start by saying your own pronouns. For example, I'd say, "Hi, I'm Alex, and I use they/them pronouns. What about you?" If you use the wrong pronoun, apologize quickly and sincerely. That's basically it. And just move forward. The bigger you make the deal out of the situation, the more awkward and uncomfortable it is for everyone there. And never ask what somebody's real name is. For many transgender people, being associated with their birth name is a huge source of anxiety, sometimes actual pain. If you already know their birth name, please don't use it without their explicit permission. Respect the name that they asked to be called. Respect how a transgender person describes their identity as well. Transgender people use many different terms to describe their experiences. If a person is unsure how to describe it, please allow to figure it out for themselves. And don't give them a label. If you don't like your identity to be defined by others, they probably wouldn't like it either. But be careful about confidentiality. Some transgender people feel comfortable disclosing their gender identity and history to others, but some don't. Don't just casually share the information and speculate about whether somebody is transgender or not. Not only is this an invasion of their privacy, there are also many negative consequences in the world, fraught with intolerance. Transgender people can lose jobs, housing, friends, even their lives when people learn about their gender history. Understand there is no right or wrong way to transition, and that it's different for every person. Some transgender individuals use a hormone therapy, like a hormone replacement therapy, or surgeries as part of their transition, but not all do. Some feel that they don't need a medical transition, and some just can't afford it. A transgender person's identity is not dependent on their medical status. If somebody says they're transgender, that means they are. And don't ask things you wouldn't ask a non-transgender person or a cisgender person. It would be inappropriate to ask somebody their medical history, what their genitals are, what they look like. It's just not right. And don't question their sex life either. It's equally inappropriate to ask your transgender friend these questions. If the transgender person wants to bring it up, and they want to talk to you about these things, they will bring it up. And if you have any questions, please direct them to this email.